Welcome to Live, life inspired views for every day. My name is Chris Meyer, and I'm a curious soul. I love watching CBS Sunday Morning. A week ago, the program highlighted the last of London's historic gas lamps that have continued lighting the streets for 200 years. The segment reminded me of a story I'd learned some years ago, told by Sir Harry Lauder in the early 1900s. He was a famous Scottish comedian. Here's his story. One evening I was sitting in the gloamin', and a man passed the window. He was the lamplighter. Pushed his pole up into the lamp and lighted it. Then he went to another and another. Now I couldn't see him, but I knew where he was by the lights he had lit, as they broke out down the street, leaving a beautiful avenue of lights. Ye lamplighters, they'll know where you've been by the lights ye have lit. Saturday. We attended a town hall meeting in our city to hear our governor. I met so many kind people while standing in line waiting to get in, or in the bathroom line, or sitting in the auditorium. Kind people, like lamps lit on a pole. If there is a refrain from this difficult time our country is facing, it could be the way people are brought together in community. Being with people in a caring group gives a sense of hope and confidence that things will somehow, someday, be okay. Lighting each other's lamp. In an article I read last week, the author Beat Chomutowska reflected upon a Polish phrase she heard as a child growing up in Poland. The phrase Jakoś to będzie literally means things will work out in the end. Mm, I apologize for my Polish pronunciation, but it's an important phrase. She went on to say, when that phrase was used, it implied that rather than sitting around and hoping things will work out by themselves, we can act without worrying about the consequences. It's reaching for the impossible. It's taking risks and not being afraid. It's the unwavering certainty that we can do something no matter what obstacles get in the way. It makes a perfect philosophy for the tough times, she said. Hmm. That kind of person is a lamplighter and a lamp. 2 weeks ago in this podcast, I focused on fear. We cannot talk about fear without talking about hope. I did some driving last week, so I listened to several hours of my past podcasts. It struck me how consistent my themes were. How many times have you listened to me expound on the importance of relationships, of meaning, of kindness, of forgiveness, of wonder, of hope, of learning, of courage, of grace, of gratitude, of woundedness, of judging, of resiliency? Hmm. Lamps? I would love them to be lamps for you. They are for me, because as I write this 166th podcast, as I reflect on 44 years of public speaking and 51 years of teaching, it confirms a quote by Frances Hodgson Burnett. You learn things by thinking about them and saying them over and over until they stay in your mind forever. What I write and say, I believe with my whole heart. And every time I share them with you, I gather them deeper into my ways of thinking, living, and loving. I hope they can be a lamp for you as they are for me on our journey through life. As I prepared to speak at our church on the joy of aging, I opened a book I had given to my father, but I hadn't read after he died. It was entitled Conversations with My Father. It was like a journal. When I read some of the answers to the questions posed in the book that my father put in there, I thought, oh my dad could be writing my podcasts. He was my lamplighter. He'd lived his values, his own life themes so deeply and well that they are now reflecting off my life like the light reflected from a lamp. I'm hoping the recordings of my podcasts will give my children and grandchildren light after I'm gone from this earth. We can be lamplighters even after our lives are over. Who are lamplighters in your life? In the past? Now? Are you a lamplighter? It bears witness to Martin Luther King's Jr.'s quote, darkness cannot drive out darkness. Only light can do that. Hate cannot drive out hate. Only love can do that. I don't think it is very possible to be an effective lamplighter if your face and attitude reflects hate, contempt, or dishonesty, which brings us back to the Polish phrase, jakoś to będzie. Things will work out in the end. Light is synonymous with hope because it allows you to see a face of love, a path to follow. We need to live in the light. If you feel a need for light, for hope, find a lamplighter. It may be someone at a coffee shop, or at one of your appointments, at your church, your place of work, in your family. Seek a lamplighter because when you find one, the light from them will make you a lamplighter as you reflect their spirit. Light, hope. Hmm, they are contagious. Someone said, life isn't about waiting for the storm to pass. It's about learning to dance in the rain. I learned to dance in today's rainstorm at the town hall meeting yesterday because I learned I wasn't alone. The kindness of those I met in line reflected light to me. That's the magic. The author Roald Dahl said, and above all, watch with glittering eyes the whole world around you because the greatest secrets are always hidden in the most unlikely places. Those who don't believe in magic will never find it. So this week, on your bathroom mirror, write, I will find and be a lamplighter. Join me next Monday for Live, Life Inspired Views for Every Day. I'm Chris Meyer, and I'm a curious soul.